Shalom, shalom, it's your brother Makazai again. You already know what it is. The scriptures, no vain opinions, calling you Negroes and Aborigines back to our God, the God of Israel. Alright, we are the true Israelites of the Bible. Repent, for the kingdom is at hand, which true repentance is keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, and having faith in his Son, the Messiah, the King of our nation, Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the Father and the name of the Son. Okay, so this stuff right here, Nick, I'm really tired of it in Israel, because even a lot of you guys that claim, Judah or whatever, which, like I've been saying, that the chart needs to be revised and everything, but that's just another topic. Well, more so, brothers need to study on the Americas, because I've been seeing a lot of, which I'm going to address this guy right here, that claims to be, in the truth, or claim to be Issachar, but what I wanted to say was, real quick, which I'm going to do another video after this, showing that Negroes didn't only come here on slave ships, or rather, that Negroes are only the Southern Kingdom. I've always been tired of this whole the quote-unquote three black tribes and then Latin tribes, when it's, trying to say that it's like everybody outside of Afro-Latinos, which is false. Okay, so, but like stuff like this is, you know what I'm saying? I won't tolerate trash like this, and this is like white supremacy, because this guy, his spirit is off, you know what I'm saying? And this was a comment, so get into the topic. This is a comment that this guy made on a video, of a post on Instagram, and it was Nathaniel bringing out, how Mexicans are Issachar, and then I guess which I'm starting to notice that a lot of posts, if they have Afro-Latinos or something on it, and you might say that they're from the Northern Kingdom, those that don't look Afro-Latino or whatever the case is, they don't like it or show love, not saying all, but so you got low-key ones that still like they was in the world hating on Moreno, you know what I'm saying? But and they would say stuff like this, and this guy is also on YouTube, going by the name of Ayash. He's saying stupid stuff like, confusion against the largest kingdom, aka so-called Latinos and Natives. He's throwing these little slick shots, okay, the Latinos and it's not, but who were those, the real indigenous of the land, which I'm a show another video after this one, to also cut a lot of Negroes that have no understanding of history, and they say things like Negroes came later, and they're pushing this doctrine of natives were enslaved first, but they don't know who that the Spanish and all the explorers, that when they were coming to the Caribbean, to the East Coast, the southern states, Central and South America, that they were saying that the indigenous people were Negroes, black, they look like Ethiopia, like all up and down, you know what I'm saying? So they don't add those, they don't put the that in their lesson. They just focus on what's here in modern, and then say that everybody was mixed or raped, robbed, and murdered, which that's another lie. But I just wanted to touch in on this, because this is bogus right here. Like, trying to say that Afro-Latino or Afro-Mexicans rather are not real Mexicans. That's what and I'm gonna just vent real quick, but that's like, because a lot of the Afro-Mexicans in Costa Chica, Veracruz, so on and so forth, they face discrimination. They just recently was like put in the census. Let me see, but that's like white supremacy right there. That's what wicked conquistador, you know what I'm saying, or remnants of the Spaniards, and would say, yeah, get out of our country, you know. And that, I know that happens all throughout Central and South America. All the Afro-Latinos are being you know, racially profiled and or racially discriminated against. Okay, oh, they shouldn't be here, things like that. Let me see. I mean, I'm not really gonna go into it, but I believe, you know. So yeah, you know. So this is Issachar, man. This ain't Judah, you know that, and that's why I'm saying, like, every Negro is Judah now. Like, no, no. So, but this is, you know, Mexico finally recognizes black citizens, but that's just the beginning. Okay, so Guerrero, you know, you have Veracruz, Guerrero, so on and so forth. So, um, you know, so you got, you know, different little mixtures of it, you know. Um, but you know, that's just I wanted to bring that out real quick, but just to kind of show that just to kind of show um, you know, stupid comments like this, you know, saying they're not Mexicans, they're a remnant of the, and it's just like you're saying they're not Mexicans as if we care about these titles, you know, in America. You know what I'm saying? But even though the word Mexican comes from the word Mexica, which also could be translated, you know, as I believe Moses. I should do another lesson, or Moses, or Messiah. I'll bring that out maybe as an extra. But the point is similar to, you know, the hate that they receive down there. So and these kind of lies that they're the remnant of the people that were scattered during the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? So so that's why I'm saying, and that's why I'm doing this, because this is what these guys think. And at first I'm like, everybody's teaching, you know, that the tribes was all Negro at one time, but then all of a sudden, you know, the 10 tribes, yeah, you know, Hosea, you know, quoting Hosea, then they just look completely different. Like, you know what I'm saying? As if, you know what I'm saying? So it went from Negro to, you know, because the Spaniards, and which a lot of brothers do not know as well. Let me show this real quick. I didn't want to even bring this out, but the conquest of Peru and Mexico by the Mongols. Okay, so Japhet was over here, you know, which a lot of these Native Americans, $5 Indians, are Japhites. Okay, and I might do a lesson again in the future showing how Japhet is, or I mean, like, Chinese and Japanese are not Moab and Ammon. But I already showed the brother Tawab Rakar, you know, with that lesson. But I might do some more showing facts. But this book right here shows that the Mongols knew they came from Japhet. All right, but and just real quick, that the word Mongol comes from the word Magog. All right, but you know, so it's just kind of showing the stupidity of a lot of these cats that claim to be Israel, and then they claim to be Aztec and Mayan and Inca, which I'm gonna show pictures of the Aztecs and Mayas. But yet, yeah, you never see them post pictures of that, and then they got the nerve to say they're not like Afro-Latinos, which the Aztecs and Mayans are painted as Negroes or dark skin, you know, dark to light skin, you know, not talking about, you know, a fair pale skin, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, just like just what I showed right here, you know, still got you know, light skin, still woolly hair, things like that, which, you know, some will have straight, which I will show Solomon's wife, the Shulamite, which was Issachar, had long hair. Okay, but, you know, so, you know, so let's just get into it. I'm going to show, some pictures real quick, and we'll at by the end of this we'll decide, or you can decide who's the real or who's real Issachar, or who's the or rather who is a Mexican, or saying who's not and who is. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so here's the sources. All right, it's original Mexicans. It says the Costa Chicans say they are not. They insist the descendants of African slaves. There was never slavery here, even in ancient times. Okay, and that's before Spaniards and things like that. It says Bobby Vaughn, these are the sources, noted that he found no consciousness of slavery among the people in Costa Chica. Another researcher noted that housewives in San Jose, Estancia Grande, and Santiago Textial in Costa Chica say their ancestors did not come from Africa, that their families have always lived there. Okay, so that's the sources. All right, so the Costa Chica said, yeah, they've been there. They weren't descendants from African slaves, or slave ships. And also, just to add, put these two books up. This book right here, the history. I have this book. It's a good book. The Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids, which shows a lot of Negro Aztecs and images, and saying how the Negro features in Mexico and things like that prior to slavery. You know what I'm saying? But it also talks about how they were Israelites. But the point I'm bringing up in here is that hold on real quick. Get the other one too. Okay, so I was saying that in the book Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramids, page 347 talks about how Mayans they came from they're basically coming from the east, which I'm gonna read right here. It says Yucatan before and after conquest, but I just wanted to get this point right here. It says some old men of Yucatan say that they have heard from their ancestors that this country was peopled by a certain race who came from the east, whom the Most High delivered by opening for them 12 roads through the sea. So, how we go into Second Esdras. Okay, it says if this is true, all the inhabitants of the Indies must be of the Indies. You know what I'm saying? But must be of Jewish descent, because the Straits of Magellan having been passed, they must have spread over more than 2,000 leagues of territory now governed by Spain. Okay, and that's also in the book. The first Americans were Africans. All right, but even though obviously we don't subscribe to being African, but so it makes sense. Okay, so again, as I'm saying, you guys claim to be Issachar or whatever, and you would have to be descendants of, what I'm saying. So why would you hate? You know what I'm saying? By saying, oh, these ain't Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? When these are the first people here. Okay? Which is the true Issacharites. Alright, but further showing proof. It says, this is from the book 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. I just went with, you're like a meme. I have the book sitting right here next to me. It's page 30. All right, but it says Peter Maitar, the Amu immunise of Columbus, tells of Negroes living in Central America before the introduction of slavery. Okay, so we know this is around the time. Again, it says he was. Matter of fact, let me want to pronounce the word right. And Salakia if I mess up on some words. But I didn't want this to go too long, so maybe it might be like 30 minutes. Let me see.
Amanuensis.
Okay, it says a literary or artistic assistant, in particular one who takes dictation or copies manuscripts. Okay, so all right, the amanuensis of Columbus. So we know this is around the time 1492. All, you know what I'm saying? So who are these Negroes living in Central America before the introduction of slavery? Okay, and in the book, which I was gonna show that in the next video, so y'all catch that the next one. I'm probably gonna title it "Did Negroes was only here from slavery" or something like that. But in the book, Native Africans and Native Americans by Jack D. Forbes, he shows how the natives that were taken into slavery to Spain were called Negroes and put as Negroes on the census. And I'm gonna also show, like I said, all this the Spaniards. Other explorers said like they were Negroes, and like you know what I'm saying. So, but my point here is these were the first Negroes seen in the Indies. Didn't we just read? Didn't we just read that? Didn't we just read that here? Inhabitants of the Indies. So, but again, you got men talking about these aren't Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Clowns. All right, but and then yeah, you wonder why people say y'all not Israelites. Okay, because you still holding this kind of like like I said, racist bullshit mentality. And then Negroes again don't know the facts of America, but let me keep moving forward. All right, so that's some proof right there for you. All right, so I'm gonna just show a few pictures, show a few more quotes. So it says Mexican Indians. All right, right here. All right, it says Native American man, woman, and children from Mexico. Also includes men wearing a poncho or blanket, and another man wearing a skin cloak, hat, and sandals. So, yeah, Negroes wearing ponchos. Okay. So I mean, these images aren't shown. Okay, another one, and you could tell. Matter of fact, like bow and arrow. You see the bow and arrow, so we know these are not Africans. Or or if y'all want to say the Southern Kingdom, or basically Africans that, according to that guy, from the slave trade, basically. Okay, but since Negroes think that all Negroes are Judah, or the three black tribe, but see the bow and arrow. Okay, then here again, man and woman of Mexico. You see the same. She was wearing the same thing. So it looks identical. You could see the dress, the woolly hair. You know what I'm saying? You see the bow and arrow. These aren't Africans. Okay, this is Issachar. Okay, man and woman of Mexico. All right, so let's continue. So, showing you these two right here. So these are other one come up. All right, so and you could look this stuff up for yourselves. It says Carlos Marquez. Okay, he was a historian. All right, he says the Negro type is seen in the most ancient Mexican sculptures. The Negroes figure frequently in the most remote traditions of some American pueblos. It is to this race doubtlessly belongs the most ancient skeletons distinct from the red American race, which have been found in various places from Bolivia to Mexico. It is likely that we repeat America was a Negro continent. Okay, so who you gonna say is a true Mexican or whatever the case is? All right, and like I said, for y'all to be saying stupid shit like that shows that you really don't agree. You know, because again, I don't. If the Spaniards did not rape, you know, the indigenous to the point of them not being Negro anymore. And I'm gonna do a lesson also in the future showing how, you know, a lot of scattered Israelites in different countries, so on and so forth, still have Negro features and look Negroid. Okay, so like for instance, India, showing how a lot of those out there that claim they don't even look like Elam, they look like Negroes out here. All right, so I mean, you know, so that doesn't mean that but only here we see that the Spaniards done raped, robbed, and murdered everyone, and then it's just it doesn't make sense when there's a lot more to it. Which I'll probably say a few things in the next video, but now this is a good one right here. This is Dr. Nicholas Leon, anthropologist, you know, archaeologist. He says the almost extinction of the original Negroes during the time of the Spanish conquest. Okay, so didn't we just read that Negroes was in here prior to slavery, but also they was here when this, again, Columbus. Okay, we already read that, but this is you know, the Spanish conquest, you know, and memories of them in the most ancient traditions and induce us to believe that the Negroes were the first inhabitants of Mexico. Okay, and then there's that doctrine that it basically that like the Olmecs and things like they were Hamites. No, they weren't. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But if y'all want to say that, and then like going back to the scriptures, like for instance, y'all say if some say that, which I don't believe, some say that Job is from Issachar, which I believe he's not an Edomite either. He was from the men of the east that Abraham sent to the east, you know, but the point is, it said Job's skin is black upon him. So y'all claiming if he's Issachar, and then like I said, Solomon's wife, the Shulamite, which is Shunem, was in Issachar. All right, but you know, the point is, I don't also believe that doctrine of the Olmecs being Hamites and stuff like that. But the Aztecs was you know, dark skin classified, which I'm gonna show, and the Mayans. You see it all on the walls. So, and these are the main tribes, and the Incas as well, the main tribes that are associated with being of the 10 tribes. Okay, so